Look around at the invisible scaffolding of our world. Here's a pretty wild fact for you. We are currently spending billions of dollars and literally massive amounts of computing power every single year just trying to fix forecasting errors. Why? Well, because modern civilization is built on systems that fundamentally drift. Our financial models decay over time, our climate models diverge from reality, even our most advanced AI models just sort of wander off course. When we try to plan large-scale infrastructure or run these massive simulations, the forecasts inevitably stray from their original parameters. And the modern pain point we all intuitively feel right now is that our systems are incredibly fragile. But the craziest part is, we have somehow just normalized this instability. We've accepted it as if it were simply a law of nature.
But what if it isn't? Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going on a deep dive into an engineered, completely stable future, a framework called Oikonomia Architektur, or the architecture of renewal. If you want to know how we're actually going to build systems that survive the next century, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to explore the blueprint for an entirely new computational worldview. Okay, let's dive into this with a pretty radical thought. Drift is not destiny. Drift is a design choice. For decades, we've mistakenly accepted chaos and decay as just, the inevitable cost of doing business in a complex world. But the source material for Oikonomia argues something radically different. It argues that the next era of civilization demands predictability. It's going to be defined by systems that actually hold their shape, preserve information, and behave predictably over time. We simply don't have to settle for decay anymore.
Just think about the absolute pillars of our modern society: financial models, climate simulations, AI, infrastructure planning, and our most complex forecasts. As you can see, right now, every single one of these suffers from drift. They require massive brute force computing and this constant, exhausting correction just to stay somewhat on track. Contrast our current chaotic reality with the profound need for systems that actually maintain their integrity. If we are ever going to build a lasting future, these systems absolutely cannot be a house of cards. They have to be anchored.
Section 1. The Oikonomia Worldview. A computational shift from chaos to stability.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're talking about. We're moving from a world of drift to a world of stability. Over on the left, you've got our current reality: stochastic guesses that demand massive brute force computing, leading to fragmentation and inevitable decay. But look at the right. Systems that behave like predictable physical laws. Drift is minimized, coherence is maintained, and crucially, information is actually preserved. It's a complete shift from a panicked, fragmented approach to calm, engineered stability. Now, we need to be really precise here. Stability is not slowness. It isn't being rigid, and it definitely isn't being stuck in the mud. It is simply the ability of a system to maintain coherence under evolution. Think of it like a perfectly balanced top. It's moving and evolving rapidly, but it doesn't topple over. A truly stable system doesn't need us to constantly intervene with supercomputers just to keep it from falling apart. Stability is a profound civilizational technology. The second major principle is reversibility. Imagine literally having a magic undo button for a city's entire infrastructure. In our current systems, when things change, old data is overwritten and lost forever. But in a reversible system, absolutely no information is lost. It can be rewound, branched, recombined, and audited. It is the ultimate antidote to chaos. When your system's memory doesn't explode and you can trace every single step backward and forward, you are laying the foundation for total transparency and true long-term planning. And the third pillar is coherence. Coherence means the system behaves as one unified entity. Local changes, like, say, a massive spike in a single neighborhood's power usage, well, they propagate cleanly while the global structure remains perfectly intact without fragmenting. This is what ultimately ensures that your local grid doesn't completely fail just because the city next door surges. Without coherence, a system diverges. With it, we have the architecture of renewal. And now, to clear something up real quick, Oikonomia is not time travel. We aren't breaking physics or introducing dangerous sci-fi rogue AI capabilities. You won't find any Terminators here. It is a completely safe, constructive engineering capability focused on preserving information, utilizing reversible processes, and enabling stable evolution. It's highly responsible engineering, not movie magic.
Section 2. Engineering the floating city. Testing the limits of stability.
So, the crucial point is that floating cities are not science fiction. Once you strip away the fantasy element, you realize they are entirely grounded in hard logistics.
They're a massive systems problem. And honestly, they are the perfect metaphor and testing ground for exactly the kind of stability and predictability Oikonomia provides. Just think about the mega-structural logistics required for something like this. Energy, water, supply chains, transit, compute, governance. In our current world of drift, a single failure in the water system cascades and collapses the energy grid, and suddenly your floating city is sinking. But with the stable, coherent computational substrates we've been talking about, balancing these variables doesn't just become possible, it becomes inevitable. Let's move to this timeline and see how this builds out. Imagine simulating a century of stability for this floating city. In year 1, you set up the baseline and population dynamics. By year 10, a severe storm hits. Well, because of reversibility, you can literally rewind year 10, audit a seawall failure, branch the logistics to test an entirely new design, and recombine it. Fast forward, and you can model long-term maintenance in year 50 and predictable recovery in year 100, all without using stochastic approximations and without losing a single data point. It's a real game changer. Which brings us to a really profound realization. In a world of drift, floating cities are frankly impossible. But in a world of stability, they are inevitable. The floating city is the ultimate symbol of what a civilization can achieve when its underlying systems simply stop falling apart. It's a testament to confidence and serious long-term thinking. Section 3, the architecture of renewal, a foundation for the next century. People are tired of fragility, tired of chaos, tired of systems that break faster than we can repair them. I mean, we all feel this on a visceral level, right? We want clarity, we want direction. We want a future that actually feels worth building. Oikonomia directly answers that widespread fatigue. It serves as the exact architectural antidote that society has been waiting for. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that we've become so obsessed with disruption lately, breaking things just to make new things. But the goals of this movement are completely restorative. It's about restoring our ability to build and maintain, plan and coordinate, renew and grow, and ensure our society can endure for the long term. It isn't about replacing systems. It's about strengthening the foundation they sit on. Ultimately, Oikonomia is the architecture of hope and capability. It is a completely constructive, civilization-positive message. By prioritizing predictability over guesswork and long-term thinking over short-term panic, it's designed to give us back our power to plan confidently, to actually envision a future and know we have the engineering reality to get there safely. Because the future isn't just something we sit around and wait for. It is something we build, with stability, with coherence, and with reversibility. So, as we look at this new architecture of renewal and all the amazing predictability it offers, what will we anchor first?